Welcome, everybody, to Straight Shooter Wrestling Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking, Steve, about Austin Theory, A-Town, Downtown. Ooh, it's been a rough couple of days for the future of the WWE. Steve, initial thoughts of everything that's been going on with Austin Theory?
Couldn't be happier.
Really?
Could not be happier, honestly, buddy. When it comes to it, I saw Austin Theory winning the Money in the Bank as great as Baron Corbin winning Money in the Bank back in the day. I've been waiting for him to fail on this for so long. The push by Vince McMahon was not winning me over, and I don't think it was winning over Triple H and the new production team. So, granted, he did something different, which I really enjoyed. I love the fact that it wasn't on a world champion. Obviously, it wasn't on Roman. He made his attempts. He realized his failures, that he wasn't going to be able to do it. Too many obstructions in his path to get to Roman with the Money in the Bank contract, and I think that's why the bloodline is so strong. But really, I like the way they went by this. Santi, you?
I liked it overall. I think there's a lot of people who are not really seeing the big picture of like the good things that actually come out of this, and I think they're too focused on the fact that, oh man, the Money in the Bank briefcase needs to be for the world titles. Blah, blah. They buried Austin Theory. There's a lot that, yes, I do think that there were some things that were sacrificed, but I think in the long-term booking and long-term viability of the Money in the Bank briefcase, it opens up a lot more doors and a lot more things that can be done moving forward. Mm-hmm. Now, you can make the argument that, oh, you know what, this belittled the Money in the Bank briefcase. I'm more of a glass half full kind of guy, and I will say that this increase the value of the United States Championship. That's how I'm looking at things here. That no champion is safe, whether you're, we all wanted Otis to cash in for the tag championships a couple years ago, and now that we're getting it with the United States Championship, a ton of people are whining and complaining. But I want to get back to what's going on with Austin Theory, because as you know, he was pushed to the moon. He was put in a very in a quasi main event spot in his match with Pat McAfee, which involved Vince McMahon, Stone Cold. So clearly Vince McMahon saw a lot in Austin Theory. The way things have been going under Triple H, it almost feels as if Triple H feels as if he was saddled with having Theory as this top guy, as the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. Do you think that's kind of how Triple H was feeling here?
Yeah, Santi, I think it's an absolute fair assessment with this. Just think, the only thing that was really left over from the whole Vince McMahon regime and the final days of his booking was Austin Theory as the Money in the Bank champion. Yes, we've got Roman in the bloodline. That kind of thing's not going to go away because it's so red hot. But Theory was hot and cold through this whole run. People weren't very over on him. Some people were very over on him. And like you said, glass half full in certain contexts with this, but Triple H didn't really see a path to the world title for Theory with the Money in the Bank. And I think he did, I hate to bring back the old term, what's best for business in this one. But like you said, Theory's stock, I don't think dies in this. I think it increases. Theory is, as you said at the start, potentially one of the future main eventers of the business. It's just not now, it's not next week, and it might not be this Mania. But we are not seeing the end of Austin Theory at all. It's more of he needs to be sold to us differently, and Triple H wants to do it in his way.
Yeah, I will jump in as well and maybe throw out the canary in the coal mine of what this might potentially mean for long-term booking. I think that this means that Roman Reigns is holding for another 1,000 days. I actually think that they're like, you know what? Like, realistically, we are not going to take any one of the titles off of Roman from now until June of next year, which is when Money in the Bank happened, if I'm not mistaken, or May or something along the lines of that. By removing that from the equation, you're more or less saying that there are no imminent threats to Roman Reigns, with the exception of anybody that he might face at WrestleMania or anything like that. If you are removing the Money in the Bank briefcase from even being in play, to me, that says that they just have plans for Roman beyond the expiration of this Money in the Bank briefcase. I think Roman's reign is going to continue. And WWE knew that they weren't ever going to pull the trigger on Austin Theory during the duration of that 1 year span of the contract. So they might as well do something more interesting with it rather than just feeding it to Roman Reigns.
So I like that idea, but the unfortunate thing is that with hold on, let me stop that for a second. So I like that idea, but where I'm seeing this is the Money in the Bank is now no longer June. They have squashed the Money in the Bank pay-per-view now. The Money in the Bank is going to happen at WrestleMania. So now we look at, I don't know if it's going to be 1,000 days. It might be another 300 days. But it could go to WrestleMania 40 in Philly. Which, okay, cool. Let Roman run till Mania 40. I'm fine with that. But this is what they're doing and doing away with the gimmick pay-per-views. The Money in the Bank doesn't need its own pay-per-view. The Money in the Bank just needs a quality match with 7 great athletes in it. That's all it needs. So, can Theory, in theory, go into the Money in the Bank match at Mania in LA and potentially win it again?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, people are not real. Like, people are thinking that, you know, this is the end of Austin Theory and that he's going back down to NXT. Dude, he's in a main event spot with 2 bona fide superstars on the roster, and Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins. Let's not belittle that. Like, that is a major spot to be in the card.
Yeah.
And let's also not forget that we can make the argument that he did not lose clean. All right? He got attacked, rolled into the ring, and then got hit by the curb stomped. All right? So there is still, like, there isn't, he wasn't buried by Seth Rollins. He wasn't squashed. Theory looked amazing in that, if anything, as well. It's just the result didn't go his way. Now we just need to look at what the long-term storytelling demands, and I think it could demand some fun things, like a bratty Austin Theory who is sad and upset. Like, he could do a better bum-ass Corbin than bum-ass Corbin did. All right? Like, there's a lot of ways that this can go.
You hit the nail on the head here. It's Theory being made to look strong in a horrible situation. And Rollins did, and Lashley both helped Theory look strong. Even the referee with that slow 10 count made Theory look strong. And even up until that point, to the final stomp, Theory even sold that stomp better than I've ever seen anyone sell that. So Theory did business the way it should be done by anyone that wants to make their mark on the business. And not saying he's never done that, but everything that you just said, Theory came out of that looking perfect. Everyone's so mad that he failed on a mid-card cash-in. Just remember, guys, he's the youngest Money in the Bank winner and the first one to ever cash in on a mid-card title. He has just stapled himself twice in history. So there's nothing to be mad about this booking. It's just Triple H going in a different direction to what Vince saw.
Yeah, and another thing that I want to mention, another one of those canary in the coal mines that tells me that Roman is going to hold longer, is what an excellent way, what a brilliant way to elevate your United States title to be the top title in the Raw brand. What a fantastic way of doing it. Now, like, it's not crazy to think that the United States Championship can main event a Raw, can main event a pay-per-view moving forward. This has set the precedent that this title is important and valuable enough that I am going to cash in my Money in the Bank briefcase for it. Now, I'm not saying that Seth Rollins on his own couldn't elevate the title to that standard, but the United States title was behind in it becoming a top tier title compared to the IC title over on SmackDown, right? Like, I think we can all agree that the IC title on SmackDown is must-see television and worthy of a main event spot in any show. And I think that's what they're trying to do with the United States title. So if they're trying to make those mid-card titles into these top tier high echelon titles, then that tells me that Roman Reigns isn't dropping this anytime soon, and that, you know, he's going to continue on that part-time schedule. So you need something for people to chase, and we got to remember, compare the IC title now compared to it 2 years ago, and like it's like night and day. And I dare say the same thing about the United States Championship. The United States Championship is a lucrative title to hold. Is it weird that, you know, they cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase? Sure. Why is it weird? Because we've never seen it before. It's the only reason it's weird. It's literally the only reason that it's weird.
Santi, look at the guys involved in this whole kind of bubble of the IC title currently. You have Seth Rollins.
United States. You said IC.
Sorry, my apologies. Of the US title, you have Seth Rollins, you have Bobby Lashley, you have Austin Theory, you have indirectly Mustafa Ali. You also have the outside chance of Brock Lesnar, and I know that sounds crazy, but that Brock Bobby thing isn't done. You also have the likes of Sami Zayn, who is still a part of the bloodline and floating between both shows. And you still have the likes of Kevin Owens, who we have not seen in a while, that could somehow involve himself with Sammy, go for the tag titles, and still be involved as a singles competitor going for the US title.
Steve, I'm going to throw one more name out there.
Go ahead.
I'm going to throw one more name of a potential person who could come back into this picture. Cody Rhodes, still unfinished business with the current United States champion, Seth Rollins. So there is a lot of good here, guys. A lot more good than bad. I dare say there is no bad here. Like, what is the bad? The bad is that the Money in the Bank briefcase doesn't feel important. It hasn't felt important in a long time. Can we just remove the Fugazi here? All right, that it's on par with winning the Royal Rumble or main eventing Mania. It's not anymore. It's lost its flavor.
When was the last time? Seth Rollins? Maybe?
Yeah, no, definitely Seth Rollins, but like it hasn't felt special in a very long time. This is different. This is unique. I'm on board for it. I think we just need to chill, and we like the idea, the theory has been buried. Give it the rest of the year and we'll find out.
I don't want to be negative because our fans and our followers are people that are making these opinions. But I just need to say, I think everybody needs to take a big deep breath and sit back and just enjoy the booking that is happening across all of WWE right now. Hunter is changing it, but he's not trying to rock the boat necessarily. He's trying to do smooth sailing across the board, and I think we're just so involved in trying to future book as wrestling fans that I think we all just need to chill and just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Stop trying to predict what next week's Raw is going to hold, or SmackDown this weekend, or Survivor Series, or what's going to replace Day One. Let's just enjoy the road and the ride that Triple H is taking us on, because really, no one's been disappointed yet. That's my final say.
Well, folks, thank you very much for listening to this episode of Straight Shooter Wrestling Podcast. If you enjoyed that video, make sure to leave it a like, a comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Steve, where can the people find you?
Guys, you can find me on Twitter at Mr. Tesh, TikTok, Mr. Tesh, Instagram, Mr. Tesh, and I'm not really on Twitch right now, but if you want to go give it a follow anyways, it's Mr. Tesh. Santi.
Twitch.tv/SantiZap is where you can find me mostly, as well as over on TikTok and over on Twitter. The links will be down in the description below. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Straight Shooter Wrestling Podcast, and take care and be good people.